Hello everyone. Uh, this is Alok Singh, and this I'm going to create tutorials on how to develop plugins for Atlassian tools, and the first set of tutorials will be focused on the server plugins for JIRA. And those who are looking for the Connect plugins will have to wait, and I will be developing videos for how to develop Connect plugins as well. But these sets of tutorials are going to be purely focused on server plugins for Jira. So let me introduce myself. I basically work for one of the biggest Atlassian partners in the eastern part of USA, and I'm an Atlassian consultant as well. So let's go ahead and understand how, and uh, how we are, how and what are the important prerequisites that we need to have to develop Jira plugins. So, so yes, let's go ahead and start on a project to understand the plugin development process of Jira. So the first prerequisite that you need to have is the Atlassian SDK. So that means the Atlassian Software Development Kit. So that kit will help you to develop plugin for your Jira ecosystem. I'm not going to talk about what Jira is actually and what are the uses of Jira, because these tutorials uh, are solely going to be based on the plugin development. So So if you are a developer or if you are an administrator, and if you are going to learn how to develop your plugins for your Jira server, this is going to be your complete end-to-end tutorials for your plugin development process. So let's go ahead and understand what Atlassian SDK is. So first thing you need to have is just type Atlassian SDK. Commands, Atlassian plugin development. I'm sorry. So yes, the first link that comes up, you need to follow that. So it gives you uh, an option to whether you want to install on Windows or Linux or Mac. So if you are right now I'm using Windows, but if you are using Linux or Mac, it's much more simpler than setting it up on Windows. Just have to set up your Java home and make sure that if you are using Jira 7 for your plugin development, you need to have JDK 1.8, and for the latest SDK that supports the latest SDK, and then you have different Linux flavors to set up your SDK. So I have used Ubuntu Linux in past, and so this is fairly simple. Just have to run all these commands on your terminal to set up your Atlassian SDK. But for Windows, you need to set up your environmental variables, and you need to download this Windows exe, uh, and you're done. Just have to install that exe. The setting up SDK is not a difficult task as part of Jira plugin development. So I already have this SDK set up on my machine. So let's go ahead and start learning what actually is SDK, and what are the commands that is available for Atlassian SDK that will help you to create your own plugin. So, so to check if you have Atlassian SDK installed, the first thing that you need to run is Atlas help. So let's go ahead and check with the version, Atlas version. So you can see that I have Atlassian SDK installed on my machine with all these pre-configured home directories and Maven home and version as well. So it will give you the complete details of all these important directories along with the Java that you are actually using with the Atlassian SDK, right? Okay. So now the next important command is atlas help. If you at all want to understand what are the available commands or learn what are the available commands, you can go ahead and just write atlas help and you'll be given all these important commands. So over the course of tutorial you will be understanding using most of these commands to set up or run your project. So let's not worry about that. And if you want to check it on your uh, browser, then also you have this option of Atlassian SDK commands. Just so they have all the information in the Atlassian developer tutorials, but the problem is they are quite stale and they are quite outdated. So sometimes it really difficult to understand the plugin development process, and uh, for a newbie, it's kind of really difficult to understand what are the important features and what are the important APIs that you need to use inside your plugin development process. So this tutorial will be covering all those stuff so that the plugin development process would be a lot easier for you guys. So you can see that the command reference gives you all the list of important commands that comes with the Atlassian SDK. So let's go ahead and start creating our project. So this gives a let's start with this hello world project. So this gives you an option of creating your own how to basically set up your own plugin development project. So we are going to start a project. So over the course of time, we'll making it more and more complex. So let's start with something simple, really simple. So this is the command that you need to use to create your Jira plugin. So let's change our directory. Let me change my directory. YouTube tutorials. Great. So now I'm going to create my own Jira plugin. Nice. So it says latest stable product version is 7.2.5, and the so you need to provide a few important information for the to create your Jira plugin so that your plugin will be identified the universal plugin manager, and it will be managed by the universal plugin manager inside your Jira system. So let's go ahead and give the group ID for this project, com.tutorial tutorial plugin, and the artifact ID is going to the main of name of the plugin. So let's go ahead and give it as tutorial plugin YouTube. So just tutorial plugin. Leave the snapshot as it is. I will explain in all these important what these are actually in the subsequent tutorials, so don't have to worry about that. And dot right. Nice. So if you go to your directory, you can see that your plugin project has been created. So in the next tutorial, we will be uh, importing this project in your ID, whichever ID you are using, and we'll be explaining all the files, what these pom.xml. So see you in the next tutorial. Till then, bye bye.